In this lecture, we are going to find out the expression of change in magnetic field at a current sheet. So here we will have a thin sheet which carries current. So let's say we have PQRS, this thin sheet which has current flowing through it. So let's say I is the amount of current flowing. So we want to find out the change in magnetic field. So if there is a presence of current, so around this sheet there will be magnetic field. So if this is an infinite sheet, so let's say this is an infinite sheet, so there will be magnetic field above the sheet as well as below the sheet. So now in this derivation we are going to find out the difference in the two magnetic fields. So one magnetic field is the one which is above this sheet and another magnetic field is the one which is below the sheet. So we want to find out change in magnetic field at a current sheet. So if you move from below to above or from above to below the sheet, what is the change in magnetic field, how the magnetic field changes. So here we consider a thin sheet PQRS having surface current density. So as I have said, I is the amount of current which is flowing. So let's say we consider the surface current density. So current is flowing through the surface. So here we will define surface current density, which we have already discussed in the previous lectures also, and we denote surface current density by K vector. And its magnitude will be equal to just K. So its magnitude will be just equal to K. Now to find out the change in magnetic field, firstly we will draw a loop which will be a rectangular path. So let's draw a rectangular path. So here we have drawn a rectangular path A, B, C, D. Now this rectangular path, it cuts the sheet, let's say at this point and at this point. So let's call this point as E and this one as E prime. So this rectangular path, this imaginary path which we have drawn, this path cuts the sheet at 2 points. One is E and another is E prime. So we draw a rectangular path A, B, C, D, and in this rectangular path we will be moving in anti-clockwise direction. So this rectangular path, it cuts the sheet such that AB lies on one side and CD lies on the other side of this sheet. So here you can see that this rectangular path, it cuts the sheet at 2 points, and this AB segment, this lies below the sheet, and CD segment, it lies above the sheet. So this sheet PQRS, let's suppose it is an infinite sheet. So this AB segment is lying below and this CD segment is lying above this current carrying sheet. Now what is the current which is enclosed by this path? So as we have said that certain amount of current is flowing through this sheet, but what is the current which is enclosed by this path? So to use Ampere's circuital law, to use that law we must find out the current which is enclosed by the loop. So what will be the current enclosed? As we have said that the current is flowing in this direction. So let's say it is flowing in this direction. So only the current which is in this region, only in this region, that current, that amount of current will be the one which is enclosed by this path. So only the current which is flowing in this region, that will be the current which is enclosed by this path A, B, C, D. So let's consider this current which is enclosed by this path denoted by I net. So current which flows perpendicular to the width of the sheet cut by the path. So what is the width of the sheet which is cut by the path? That is this one. So this is the width of the sheet, width of this infinite sheet which is cut by this path, by this imaginary path. So current I net, this is the current which flows perpendicular to the width. So this is the width of the path and the current is flowing in the perpendicular direction. So this current enclosed is the current which flows perpendicular to the width of the sheet which is cut by the path ABCD. So what will be the expression of I net? So net amount of current will be given by this surface current density vector. Now its magnitude is given by K. Now we have already defined the surface current density in the previous lectures, and we defined it as the current which is flowing in unit width, the current flowing per unit width of the surface. So this is given by current per unit width. So over here the width is given by E prime, and let's say this E prime width is equal to W. So this is the width of the sheet which is cut by this path, and surface current density is the current which is flowing per unit width. So what will be the net amount of current which is flowing in this width? So the current which is flowing in this width, which is flowing perpendicular to the width, that will be equal to surface current density, means the current flowing per unit width, times the width. So net amount of current which is enclosed by this path, which is passing through this width, that will be equal to the surface current density vector magnitude times the width, and the width is given by W. So this W is, this E prime is nothing but equal to AB, or you can say it is equal to CD. Now we are going to find out the line integral of the magnetic field over this closed rectangular path. So that is denoted by closed line integral of B vector dot dl vector. So dl vector is any line element which is taken on this loop. So now in this loop we are moving in anti-clockwise direction. So we are moving in anti-clockwise direction. So we can divide this closed line integral into open line integrals. So this can be written as the closed line integral of the magnetic field from A point to B point, then to C point, then to D point, and at last to A point. This line integral can be divided into 4 parts. One will be from A to B, and B vector dot product with DL vector will remain as it is, then plus B to C, B vector dot product with DL vector, this will remain as it is, and then you have C to D, B vector dot product with DL vector, and at last you have D to A. So we have divided this closed line integral into 4 open line integrals. Now in this case we will consider that the lengths, this BC and DA, these lengths are very small. So now we will assume that these lengths CB and this DA, these are very small. So in the diagram these are large enough, as you can see, but we consider that this loop which we have imagined, this rectangular loop, this is very close to the sheet. So this loop is very close to the sheet, so we are reducing the length of the sheet, we are reducing the length of the rectangular path such that this CB length and this DA length, they are very small, so they will approach to 0. So now we will use the limit that this BC and this DA length, they approach 0. So in this limit, the line integral from b to c and the line integral from d to a will also go to 0. So if these paths go to 0, so their line integrals will also go to 0. So the line integral of the magnetic field from b to c will approach to 0 when we are using the limit that BC and this AD length, they go to 0, and the line integral of the magnetic field from D to A will also go to 0. So this line integral of the magnetic field over the closed rectangular path will be equal to this term plus this term. So that will come out to be line integral of magnetic field from A to B plus line integral of the magnetic field from C to D. Now the first term, in this term we have the line integral of magnetic field from A to B. So at every point, let's say if you consider this point, so let's say at this point the magnetic field is pointing in this direction. The magnetic field is pointing in this direction due to this sheet, due to the current which is flowing in this sheet. Let's say the magnetic field is pointing in this direction, and the dl vector will point in this direction because we are moving in anti-clockwise direction. So this is the direction of dl vector and this is the direction of the magnetic field vector. So this integral, this will be equal to a to b, and then let's suppose this is b1 vector. The magnetic field at this segment AB, let's say the magnetic field is b1 vector. So this can be written as b1 vector dot product with dl vector. Plus you have the line integral of magnetic field from C to D. So here we will suppose that the magnetic field is pointing in this direction from C to D. Let's say we have taken only a single point on this segment C to D, and let's suppose at this point the magnetic field is pointing in this direction, and let's say it is B2 vector, and DL vector will be pointing in this direction because we are moving in anti-clockwise direction. So this will become B2 vector dot product with DL vector. Now if we will solve these expressions, b1 vector dot product with dl vector, this can be written as b1 into dl cos of theta 1. Let's say this angle between b1 vector and dl vector is theta 1 in this case, and let's say the b2 vector is making an angle of theta 2 over here. So what is the angle which is made between b2 and dl vector? The angle which is made between b2 vector and dl vector on this segment CD, it will be equal to this one. So this angle, this acute angle is considered to be theta 2. So what will be this leftover angle? This will be equal to 180 minus theta 2. So 180 minus theta 2 is the angle between b2 vector and dl vector. Now on this segment AB, if this is b1 vector, this will be dl vector. So theta 1 is supposed to be the angle between b1 and dl vector. So if you will solve this dot product, you will get it equal to b1 cos of theta 1. So b1 vector dot product with dl vector will be equal to b1 into dl into cos of theta 1. So that is how we solve the dot product. So you will get b1 cos of theta 1 into dl, and the second term will be b2 cos of 180 minus theta 2 into dl, because 180 minus theta 2 is the angle between b2 and dl on this segment CD. So this will be equal to b2 into cos of 180 minus theta 2 into dl. Now here we will solve this one. So this will be equal to minus of cos of theta 2. So cos of 180 minus theta 2 is minus of cos of theta 2. So this will be a to b into b1 cos of theta 1 into dl, and then you will have minus sign and integral from c to d, and then b2 into cos of theta 2 into dl. Now here we will put b1 into cos of theta 1 as equal to b1 into b1t. So b1 into cos of theta 1, this is put to be equal to b1 into t, and this represents the tangential component. So if b1 vector is pointing in this direction, so what will be the horizontal component, or you can say what will be the tangential component? That will be equal to b1 cos of theta 1. So I'm supposing this b1 cos of theta 1, I'm putting this b1 cos of theta 1 equal to b1 into t, and I will put b2 cos of theta 2 as b2t. So b2t, this is the tangential component of the magnetic field on this segment CD. So this will be equal to, from A to B, b1t into dl, and then minus integral from C to D, b2 into t into dl. So we have got the expression of line integral of magnetic field over a closed rectangular path. This has come out to be equal to this term minus this term. Now b1t and b2t, these are the constant terms, and they can be taken outside the integration. So you will get it to be equal to b1t into integration from a to b of dl minus b2t, then integration of dl from C to D. Now as we have supposed in the diagram, that the length AB, this is equal to W, as well as the length CD, this is also equal to W. So CD as well as AB, they both are equal to W length. So here we have integration of dl from A to B. So this will be equal to b1t into length AB and minus b2t into length CD. So AB and CD, they both are equal to W. So that will be equal to b1t into W minus b2t into W. So this is the expression of line integral of magnetic field over a closed rectangular path. Now using the Ampere's circular law, we know that line integral of the magnetic field over a closed path is equal to mu naught times the current enclosed. Mu naught times the current enclosed by that loop. So this will also be equal to this expression of line integral of magnetic field over a closed path. This is equal to mu naught times the current enclosed, and current enclosed is represented by I net. So in the starting of the derivation, we have assumed that I net is the amount of current which is enclosed by this closed rectangular path. So I net we have already solved. This is equal to K into W. So this one is equal to line integral of magnetic field over a closed path. And line integral of magnetic field over a closed path has also come out to be equal to this expression. So obviously this one will be equal to this equation. So you will get b1 into tw minus b2 into tw. This will be equal to mu naught into k into w. So this w will cancel on both hand sides, and you will be left with b1t minus b2t is equal to mu naught into k. So this is the final expression of change in magnetic field at a current sheet. So B1T, this is the tangential component of the magnetic field. So you can see that there is a change in the tangential component of the magnetic field, and the change is given by mu naught times K, where K is the magnitude of surface current density. So you can see that there is a change in the tangential component of the magnetic field on crossing the sheet. So when you will go from above the sheet to below the sheet, or vice versa, you will go from below the sheet to above the sheet, there will be a change in magnetic field. There will be a change in tangential component of the magnetic field, and that will be equal to mu naught times K. So this change in parallel component of the magnetic field is given by the product of mu naught and the surface current density. So this is also called as parallel component. So B1T and B2T, they are called as tangential component of the magnetic field, and they are also called as parallel component of the magnetic field, as these components are parallel to the plane of the sheet. So we have already seen in the diagram. So this was the sheet that we considered, and this B1T, this was the component of the magnetic field in this direction, as well as B2T is the component of the magnetic field in this direction. So these two components, they are parallel to the plane of the thin sheet we have considered. So these are also called as parallel components of the magnetic field. So the change in parallel component of the magnetic field is given by the product of mu naught and the magnitude of surface current density vector.